Hey guys, I figured I'd do an in-depth video about my current Blu-ray collection. Unfortunately, it's not as big as what my previous movie collection used to be. I used to have at one point over 1,000 movies with the DVD, VHS, and some Blu-rays combined. I've since gotten rid of almost all my VHS tapes. I've gotten rid of, I'd say, at least half of my DVDs, if not more than that. And I only pretty much exclusively buy Blu-rays now. I really don't buy anything else. As you saw earlier, I did pick up the Friday the 13th Part 3 and 4 on DVD. That's only because it was a good price. I really don't buy DVDs anymore. This isn't everything in my collection. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be everything, but I think it is most of what my Blu-ray collection currently is. And I just figured I'd go over that with you guys here. Let's go ahead and get started. So first up I have Alfonso Cuarón's Gravity. That's another great film. I picked this up. It says a promo on it. As you see, I've never even opened it. And it's just a phenomenal film. I saw it in theaters, and as soon as it ended, I said, Alfonso Cuarón has his Best Director Oscar, and guess what? He won. I just knew it. I figured he would win for this. Again, let's go ahead and get moving here. Another space movie. Didn't like it as much as Gravity, but that's Interstellar. I'm sure I'm probably going to get some hate for that. It's a fine film. It's a good film. I think Christopher Nolan was expecting it to be kind of the next 2001, and it kind of didn't pan out that way. I think they were expecting it to make a lot more money than it actually did. It did well from what I remember, but it didn't do as well as they probably had hoped. I think it kind of got off to a kind of a small start in the United States, and then it had a really long run though. But overall, good film. Matthew McConaughey is great in it. Anne Hathaway is good in it. The romance is a little shoehorned in. The robot's the best part of the movie. Alright, and this is all going to be out of order here, guys. I'm not bothering doing it in alphabetical order. Plus, I think it's more fun. I think it's kind of boring when it is in alphabetical order. Next up, we have Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. Again, that's another great film as well. I've seen it multiple times. I'm a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. Again, just a great Vietnam War film. A lot of people complain that the second half of the film isn't as good as the first. Maybe true, but that doesn't mean that the second half of the film isn't any good. The second half of the film is actually excellent. It's an excellent war film, and it holds up to some of the best Vietnam War films, even in the second half. So I think it's kind of bullshit that people do say that the second half of the movie sucks, when that's just not true. The second half of the movie does hold up. Right, next up, we have Evil Dead 2 by Sam Raimi, one of my favorite films. I don't have Evil Dead 1 on Blu-ray. I do have the Ultimate 3-disc set on DVD. I've been meaning to pick up the first one, but I've never really had an inkling. I've seen the first one so many times. I've seen the second one even more. I've probably seen Evil Dead probably like 10 times. I saw it when I was about 12, 13 years old and fell in love with it. It's just such a fun film. Alright, next up we have It Follows, a film that I didn't really like that much. I felt it was it was overrated. I felt the comparison saying it's the new horror masterpiece. I thought that was a bit overdone. I thought the tracking shots, well, I'm sorry, not the tracking shots, but the shots within the car going down the street with the synth music was way overdone. I thought that was good atmosphere. If it was done once or twice, it was done like 8 times in the movie. I thought it was way overdone. But I did pick it up. I did pick up the Steelbook because it was a really good price, and I wanted to revisit it. Again, just the influence from John Carpenter is just all over this film. I unfortunately busted it up. I don't know if you can see here, but it kind of got busted in my move a little bit, which I'm not too happy about. If it was a film I absolutely adored, I'd be really beaten up over that. But because I thought it was just an okay movie, I think I'll live. Alright, I don't know how this got out, but we already went over this, but I have Pieces, and the soundtrack goes in here. Let me go ahead and put that in. Again, very good film. From what I remember, I watched again some of it the other night. Have yet to pop in the Blu-ray. I already did my unboxing review of this one. Won't say anything further. Alright, 2 here. We got Anchorman 1 and we got Anchorman 2 here. Both very funny films. First one's a lot funnier. And one of those rare films that actually gets funnier every time you watch it. I've only seen it about 3 times, but I remember liking it more each time I've watched it. Anchorman 2 I saw in theaters. I thought it was okay. I thought it had some really funny moments though. Next up is Halloween 3. Again, Halloween 3, let's see here, that's right. Oh, I guess Dean Cundy did the cinematography on this one. And again, this was directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, who did It as well. Who's also, I think, the cinematographer on Halloween 1. I'm sorry, I don't think Dean Cundy was. I think he was the production designer or set designer on Halloween 1. Again, a very underrated film. A lot of people have come back and said how great this film was. I've loved this film for years. Not trying to be a hipster on this, but I've always loved this film. I saw it when I was probably in the 6th or 7th grade, and I just didn't get the hate on it. I absolutely adored this film. And some of these I haven't seen, and some of them I haven't even opened up yet. So just kind of running through everything here. Next up is The Counselor by Ridley Scott. When I watched a bad cam. I know I'm so bad. I watched an illegal cam. It was when it had left theaters. I had a friend that saw it and said he just couldn't get his finger on this film or what he thought about it. At first he hated it, and then he kind of thought about it. The more he thought about it, the more he liked it. I was the same exact way. Unfortunately, the cam I saw was missing some footage. There were some cuts. It was kind of rough. Picked up the Blu-ray for a real good price. Again, I didn't really like it at first, and then the more I thought about it, the more I actually kind of think I do like this film a lot. I know Richard Roebuck gave it 4 out of 4 stars, so really looking to actually rewatch this. Had some really inventive kills. I guess Cormac McCarthy is a sick bastard that way. Next up is the Filmmaker Signature Series edition of The French Connection, a film I've loved since I was about 12, 13 years old. I thought that was a really good film. It won Best Picture over Clockwork Orange. Not happy about that. I think a Clockwork Orange should have probably won. I think even Friedkin said that when he won Best Director, that Kubrick probably should have won instead of him. Still a phenomenal film. This is the newer release. I know that there's an older release. This has kind of like a blue tint to it from what it looks like in the screenshots. I haven't watched this yet. I watched the 2-disc DVD a ton growing up though. But this is kind of a blue tint where the original Blu-ray kind of doesn't have any tint at all. It's very grainy. It's that washed out color tones of the early 70s. I kind of couldn't make up my mind about which one I liked, and I was at the store and this one was on sale, so I just decided to pick this one up. If I don't like it, I may go back, sell this, and pick up the original. We'll see. Next up, a film I haven't seen, 12 Years a Slave. I've heard great things about this film. Again, a Steve McQueen film. I've heard it's just a really good film here, and it looks good. It looks like a really hard watch, though. It looks like a really tough watch. That's why I haven't watched it yet. So we did Halloween 3, now we got Halloween 2. Again, both of the Scream Factory editions, very nice. This includes the TV version. Haven't checked that out yet, although I have seen it multiple times on television. Again, a great sequel. A lot of the critics said this was a trashy sequel. It digs down to the depths of the Friday 13th films. If you watch my Friday 13th review, actually go ahead and check that one out on my channel. It's a fun time. I thought Halloween 2 was actually a really good film. I thought it was one of the best horror sequels out there, and super tense. Almost as scary and as tenser than the first one. I think the first one's just overall, it's a better made film. It's a masterpiece, but this one I thought was actually really scary. Already went over this one in another review, but the Chucky collection, picked that up from Best Buy. Try to pick up the pace here. I don't want to be here all afternoon. Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, masterpiece, excellent film, maybe about 15-20 minutes too long. Used to be, I considered the best film I'd ever seen. I think I've kind of gone back on that. It's still a great film, and I think a film that's very rewarding and gets better every time you watch it, just like most other Kubrick's films. already did unboxing, but The Thing, again, not going to really get to speak on this more. I will probably do a further full movie review of The Thing after I am done completely watching the Blu-ray. I just had popped in the Blu-ray, took a look at a couple key scenes and to see what the audio and the video looked like on this. But again, great film. Again, also went over this in my other update, An American Werewolf in London, John Landis, great film. Next up we have Aliens, the sequel to Alien, phenomenal film, one of the best films I've ever seen. Honestly, Aliens is probably in the top 20 or 30 best films ever made, or at least that I've ever seen. So we have Drive by Refn. I've already talked about how I'm a really big Nicholas Winding Refn fan. I actually have the Pop Art Steelbook version of this that's probably lying around somewhere. Who knows, that may make an appearance later in the video. I've always kind of not loved this cover. I know a lot of people hated this cover. It's that bad Photoshop, and it doesn't really say a lot about the film, or it doesn't really fit the tone of the film. We have Still Sealed, Pacific Rim by Guillermo del Toro. I forgot to mention it in my Crimson Peak brief review that we did, and I'll do a full review of Crimson Peak. I knew that was a film I'd wanted to watch. I did watch it. I did like it. I didn't love it. I'll have a full review up of that. That's just a little teaser. But Pacific Rim was actually a really fun time, and I really want to revisit this one sometime soon. So we've got Paul Walker, Running Scared. Picked this up. I had seen it before. It was okay. It was a good deal. I wanted to buy a Blu-ray that night. That's why I picked it up. Some people say it's really good. So, Cabin in the Woods, again, another great horror film. Saw this in theaters after I heard just great reviews about it. It is a good film. Fuck all the haters. Mel Gibson's Braveheart, a bit controversial here. I'll be controversial for the sake of being controversial. Mel Gibson said some horrible things, but you can't deny that the man's a movie star. He just looks a movie star. He's a good director. He may not be a very good person. Who knows? I don't know Mel Gibson. Certainly what he said was not very nice. I think it's bullshit, though, that he helped Robert Downey Jr. Get back into Hollywood after he had been shunned from Hollywood. Now Robert Downey Jr. is one of the most loved actors in Hollywood, and Mel Gibson's kicked out. Robert Downey Jr. tried to get Hollywood to forgive Mel Gibson. It's not really happening. Try and blast through these a little bit quicker. So we got The Dark Knight Rises by Chris Nolan. Okay film. We've got Inception by Chris Nolan. Better film. Not the masterpiece that everyone says it is, but a really great film. And we got John Wayne and John Ford's classic Western, The Searchers. Very good film. Alright, I have the updated Blu-ray lying around somewhere, but Halloween by John Carpenter. This is the Divimax mix. Not a big fan of this transfers I went over in the Thing video. I do have the media book 35th anniversary edition of Halloween, and that's so much better. I'm probably going to end up selling this one. So we've got Raiders of the Lost Ark, masterpiece. Goodfellas. I do want to speak a little bit about Goodfellas. I may do a full review in the future about Goodfellas. It was a film I really liked when I was younger, again, probably about 13, 14, young cinephile. Try and check out all the classic movies I can. I really loved it. Didn't revisit it for years. I'd seen it a couple more times, but I didn't really revisit it for years, and then I recently revisited it this past year. Absolute masterpiece, one of the top 10 best films I have ever seen in my life. Truly, truly a masterpiece. Rob Zombie's Halloween, only seen it 1.5 times, tried rewatching it recently, cut it off halfway through. I do want to finish it. I've actually liked the second half of the film more than the first half. Again, controversial film, a lot of people hate it. I don't like it very much. I don't love it, rather should I say, but I don't think it's the complete failure that people say it is. I think there's a lot of fun in it. We got Batman Begins and Chris Nolan. I just picked these up just to complete the set because I had Dark Knight already on Blu-ray. Lord of the Rings theatrical cut. Again, I got this for like less than $10 for all 3 films. Again, that was a good deal, so that's why I decided to pick it up. I think they're good films. Again, I'm not the hugest fantasy fan. I've got Caligula here. Again, I got a really good deal on that. what a just a fun, batshit nuts film. It is fun though, and that's why I do like it. Malcolm McDowell's in it, and this is the full. It's got a couple versions of the film on here. I do want to revisit this eventually. It's kind of a curio of 70s filmmaking, so it's a lot of fun. We got two great films up next. We got The Wolf of Wall Street by Martin Scorsese. Saw this opening night on Christmas night. Excellent film. 3 hours flies right by. I'd say could maybe trim 15, 20 minutes out of a 3-hour film, which is amazing. I think it could maybe have been 15, 20 minutes shorter. Outside of that, a masterpiece. Next up, one of my favorite films ever made. Gonna get a lot of hate from that. If you want to give me hate, leave a comment down below, and we'll try and hash it out. But that's Only God Forgives. What a phenomenal masterpiece, a misunderstood film, a film that requires patience, and a film that requires an open mind, and a film that requires you to think. And those are three things required for the film, and appreciation for visual cinema and the power that cinema holds as a visual storytelling medium. And a lot of people, I just think, just did not want to give the film a chance, that it was too slow or boring or violent. I don't think it's too slow. I don't think it's too brutal or violent. It's very brutal and violent, but that's kind of the point, is that all this violence begets violence. And it's just so good. Such a great visual masterpiece. One of the best films I've ever seen. Going to try and go through this a little bit more. Classic, Wizard of Oz. What can you say? Phenomenal film. Terrence Malick's Tree of Life. Again, masterpiece. What a great film. Ben Affleck's The Town. Again, another really good film. Really underrated. A lot of fun film. Maybe could have trimmed about 15 minutes out of the film. Again, I heard recently someone complain about the romance aspect of it. True, I like Rebecca Hall. I think she's attractive. Outside of that, I think it's a great film. I need to pick up the newer version of Terminator. I heard this one. If this is true, leave me a comment down below. But I've heard a lot of people complaining that this is too HDR'd, that it looks too fake, and that the one with the classic Schwarzenegger on the front with the shotgun and on the motorcycle, that's the superior cut. It's a superior looking Blu-ray. If that's true, give me a comment down below. I am uncertain about that. If that's true, I may end up selling this and then getting the other one, because they're both dirt cheap. They're barely worth anything. Killing Him Softly, I've not opened this, but I did see this in theaters, and then I did recently rewatch this on Netflix. I liked it in theaters. I didn't love it in theaters, and I recently rewatched it on Netflix, and I thought it was a masterpiece. I thought it was a great film. Truly great film. I think there's a couple of flaws with it. I'm sorry, maybe not masterpiece, but near masterpiece. Brad Pitt's as good as ever in it. Very scary, actually, in it. Very intimidating. And Ben Mendelsohn steals every scene. Ben Mendelsohn's one of the best actors we have alive. Ben Mendelsohn, be in more stuff. You're awesome. You're a rock star. You're a superstar. And I can't wait to see you in Rogue One. Next up, we have Denis Villeneuve's Prisoners. Again, I haven't seen this one. Haven't even opened this. Again, another promo I got from Walmart on Black Friday. I've heard just nothing but great things about this one. It's quite long. It's 2.5 hours long. That's a long film. And it's a very dramatic film. So I get very invested in films. I don't just watch a movie. I have to get invested in the story. And a lot of these really dark movies and these longer movies and these serious movies, they take a lot out of me. They take a lot of patience for me. But once I'm sucked in. So again, I'm really excited to check this one out. So Dark Knight, what's there to say? Rewatch isn't as good as the first time I saw it. Still a good film. Haven't opened. Gladiator, good film. Haven't seen it in about 10 years. Do need to rewatch it. Good film. Raging Bull, only seen it about once or twice. Everyone says it's Scorsese's masterpiece. I'm already going to tell you it's probably Goodfellas. I haven't even rewatched this in years, but I don't think anything can top Goodfellas. Goodfellas is closer to Citizen Kane than it is to most other films. So, but again, from what I remember, very good film, very brutal, dark, sad film. Alright, trying to speed this up. Rick and Morty, one of the greatest shows of all time. Not just animated shows, not just Adult Swim shows. One of the greatest shows of all time. So funny, so smart, so clever, really dark. Just right up my alley. Rock and Rolla by Guy Ritchie. Seen this once, loved it though. Had to watch it with the subtitles. Man, those Cockney accents, those British accents. Don't mean to offend anybody by saying Cockney, but again, a great film, and really hoping to rewatch this one because this one's still sealed. The Out of Print Wild at Heart by Twilight Time. Need to revisit this one. Haven't seen this in probably close to a decade. A lot of people say it's one of David Lynch's best films. I thought it was good when I first saw it. I didn't think it was great, but I do want to revisit this one. Snowpiercer by Bong Joon-ho, that's correct. And another very good film. Probably one of the better films that came out that year. 2001: A Space Odyssey, what's there to say about it? Absolute classic, absolute masterpiece. Kubrick's God. We got Kingdom of Heaven by Ridley Scott. Never seen the full cut of this, only seen the theatrical. I thought the theatrical was good. Again, not great. I hear that the full cut is much better, which tells me then that it's going to be a very good film. Grindhouse by Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. Again, another great film. Films on their own are good. I think both Planet Terror and Death Proof are about equal as films. Planet Terror is more fun. Death Proof's a better film in general. I think Death Proof's probably, arguably, Tarantino's worst film. I know he certainly has said that he feels it's his worst film, and he still thinks it's a good film, and that's true. It is a good film. I just think inherently it's his worst film. It's probably his smallest film, but still really fun time. Great car chases in this, and I think as a whole, as an experiment with the trailers and everything, what they're trying to do, Grindhouse is amazing, and it's a singular experience. Next up, David Fincher's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Great film. A little bit choppy. It's almost like I had seen the Swedish. I've never read the books, but I'd seen the Swedish film in theaters, and I think if I hadn't seen the Swedish film in theaters, I would have not been able to follow this. This seemed like very fast paced, and you kind of needed to already kind of know what's going on to follow it, because I had already seen the Swedish film and I was already having a hard enough time trying to follow it, just as trying to forget the Swedish film and watch this one, but still a good film. Game of Thrones Season 1 on Blu-ray, not a movie, but it rivals the quality of movie. Season 1's probably one of the worst seasons. It's probably not one of the best seasons, but it's still a great show, and it's still a great season. Next up, we got another Fincher film, Gone Girl. Again, Gone Girl I thought was a good film. I didn't think it was a great film. It's one of David Fincher's, I think, weaker films, but it's still a very good film at that. Luc Besson's La Femme Nikita, very good film. I'd say it almost rivals The Professional, or Leon the Professional, whatever you prefer. I think this is just a really good film. A take on Pygmalion or My Fair Lady, but violent French and about a hot French assassin chick. What's not to like? And it's kind of a romance. Next up, we have the original Psycho. Don't have the Gus Van Sant. I don't even think that's on Blu-ray. But the original Psycho. Wish I held out. Wish I didn't get this and I got the pop art version instead. I love the pop art cover and artwork. This one's fine. This one's from just the Universal 2-disc DVD release. Again, this is what is there to say? It's a masterpiece. And next up, Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece, Pulp Fiction. Again, great film. Can't say enough about it. Next up, we have You're Next. Again, a little bit of an overrated horror film. I thought it was good, though. It really hit its stride in the climax, which I thought was the best part of the film. Outside of that, I'd like to rewatch it at least one more time. There Will Be Blood, one of the greatest films ever made. Again, top 10 great films ever made. So far on this list, we got 2000. I mean, of course, I'm going to buy all the best films I've ever seen on Blu-ray. 2001, one of the best films I've ever seen. Goodfellas, There Will Be Blood, Only God Forgives, Drive, some of the best films I've ever seen. Again, There Will Be Blood. Daniel Day-Lewis, probably arguably his best performance. Paul Thomas Anderson at the top of his game. With direction and writing, I don't think he's ever going to surpass it. Just an absolute masterpiece. Blue Velvet, David Lynch's masterpiece. I feel his best film. I do feel that this is David Lynch's masterpiece as well. Great film. And probably, I'd say Blue Velvet's probably in my top 30 best films I've ever seen. Chinatown, again, arguably top 10 best film I've ever seen in my life. Unfortunately, guys, I don't have the Godfather trilogy, or I'd be mentioning that as one of the best films I've ever seen. But we do have Apocalypse Now by Francis Ford Coppola. Again, another probably top 30 to 50 best films I've ever seen in my life. Phenomenal film. The old version of Goodfellas, I guess I need to get rid of this one. It's got a lot of special features on it. The DVD the other Blu-ray I have, does not have these special features. So I may hold on to this. We'll see. Casino Royale, the Daniel Craig version. Again, good film. Need to rewatch it because everyone says it's one of the best Bond films ever made. Arguably the best Bond film ever made next to From Russia with Love. So I really do need to revisit this one. I got Skyfall as well. I skipped Quantum of Solace, saw that in theaters. It was okay. I don't hate it as much as everyone else does. It got plagued by the writer's strike. Wasn't really their fault. But Skyfall, good film. Kill Bills Volume 1 and 2. Again, Tarantino classic. Another Tarantino film, Jackie Brown. Probably Tarantino's most underrated film. Very phenomenal film. Probably, again, about 15-20 minutes too long. More of a romance, more of a slower, mature film. I really don't know what I would cut out of the film, though, so I may have to retract that statement. But a very good film. Sure, why not? Let's finish out Tarantino with Inglourious Basterds. Phenomenal film. Hot Fuzz, good film. Didn't love it as much as everyone else, but I picked it up because of the Tarantino commentary. A lot of Tarantino in here. Place Beyond the Pines, Derek Cianfrance, great film. Ryan Gosling, this is when he started to hit out of the park. He had Drive, he had this, he had Only God Forgives, and then he made Lost River, which was a pretty good directorial debut. Very much like a David Lynch film, but Place Beyond the Pines was a great film. Nymphomaniac, haven't checked this out yet. Excited, Laura Frontier, Bondage, Sex, what's not to like? They're not. No Country for Old Men, absolute masterpiece. Gone Baby Gone, near masterpiece. Very great film. Ben Affleck. Once I saw the film, I said Ben Affleck is a force to be reckoned with behind the camera. We've got The Master. I did the slip. I preferred this cover of The Master. Felt more classic again. I need to revisit this one. Paul Thomas Anderson, great film. A lot of people consider this his new masterpiece over There Will Be Blood. Like he topped himself with There Will Be Blood. Uncertain about that. Only seen this one once. Need to really fucking revisit this. Really need to revisit this. I've been holding off for a while now that I found it again. I just moved, so everything's in boxes. I just figured I'd do this while I'm kind of unpacking. But absolute great film though. Of more Paul Thomas Anderson, we have Boogie Nights. Again, a great film, phenomenal film. What is there to say else about Boogie Nights? One of the top 20, 30 best films I've ever seen. Collateral, arguably Michael Mann's best film next to Heat, and one of Tom Cruise's best performances. A Clockwork Orange, another Stanley Kubrick masterpiece. What's not to like? Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, a very good film. I need to revisit this one again. Again, another Twilight Time that's out of print. I think they re-released it though. So I'm assuming this one's worth more because this is the original. One more Paul Thomas Anderson for you, Magnolia. Again, one of the top 20, 30 best films I've ever seen. Doesn't hold a lot of rewatch value though because how long it is, but a really strong, great film. The Man with No Name trilogy. I will admit, I've only seen The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. One of the top 20 best films I've ever seen in my life is The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I hear Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More are also excellent films. Can't wait to check those out. Yeah, AI, artificial intelligence. Spielberg picked up where Kubrick left off. A lot of people don't know this, but that Kubrick, towards wrapping up this project, really actually wanted Spielberg to direct the film and for him to produce it. He thought about that for a while. Everyone thinks, oh, Spielberg ruined the film, he wasn't supposed to direct it, Kubrick was. But Kubrick had been considering Spielberg to actually direct the film, and I think it turned out pretty good. And the Die Hard collection, come on, you can't not love these movies. Live Free or Die Hard's okay. Die Hard 2 is a good film. It's not a great film. Everyone thinks it's horrible. It's not. Die Hard 2 is still a good film. But Die Hard 1 and Die Hard 3 are just absolute action masterpieces. Die Hard 1 being the top 30 best films I've ever seen. Die Hard 3 probably somewhere in the top 100 best films I've ever seen. Alright guys, we're kind of in the home stretch here. Again, I try to do this as quickly as possible without rambling too much. I know I have a tendency to ramble, but isn't that why we all watch YouTube anyways? To watch weirdos on the internet ramble on and on about crap that they care about. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish this up. I can't find my Drive Steelbook. It's around somewhere. I'm not going to search too hard for it. I already showed it, but that's pretty cool artwork. You can look that up online. There's a couple things, not everything's in here. It's just kind of what I'm finding. I'd say this is about 95% of the Blu-rays I have, if not more. Again, I've had a ton more DVDs, but I did get rid of most of them, and I'm just kind of been recouping and slowly buying the classic Blu-rays over the course of time. Anyway, let's go ahead try and finish this up here. We got Trick or Treat, another great film, underrated film. I think it's gotten a lot of love. I think it's just got just the right amount of love. It got shelved for a couple of years, then because evidently it wasn't good enough to go to theaters. It does feel kind of more like a very excellent straight to Blu-ray DVD movie. Almost like if it came out in theaters, I could see it not doing great. I can understand why they didn't do it, but a great film nonetheless. Mario Bava's Blood and Black Lace, just kind of moving it here because the title is hard to see. Anyway, I have not seen this film. I'm a big fan of Black Sunday and Black Sabbath by Bava, both phenomenal films. This one just looks straight up my alley. I have a feeling this might become my favorite Bava film. The Departed by Martin Scorsese, what a masterpiece. I'd say, again, top 50 movies, best movies ever seen. Here's my digibook of Halloween. Again, we got the digibook here, a good release. I know a lot of people complained about the audio. Actually, I only know one person, I'm sorry, that complained about the audio. I personally know them. They don't like the DTS audio track on here. I don't have an issue with it. Or was it the 5.1 track? Don't really remember. Really care. It sounds good. It looks good. Excellent. Neon Demon by Nicholas Winding Refn. I actually have a specialized rare print movie poster of that behind me. Again, everyone knows by now, I'm a huge Refn fan. I guess you could call me even a fanboy at this point. I just love everything he's put out so far. Valhalla Rising was okay. I thought it was a little boring. Outside of that, I do need to revisit some of his older Danish films, but Neon Demon, what a great film. Alright, finish up real quick here. Again, I did a boxing video that I haven't released yet of the Universal Classic Monster Collection. Again, really good films in this. Really need to check out Bride Frankenstein. Alright, next up we got John Carpenter's The Fog. Good film, not great film. It's actually funny that in the interviews on the Blu-ray, Jamie Lee Curtis just flat out admits she doesn't think it's a good film, which I think is kind of hilarious that they went to her house, probably to record from like Terror Train and Halloween 2 and The Fog. They just want to get it all banged out at once. but that she kind of admits that she didn't think it was a good film. I thought that was kind of funny. I think it is a good film. I don't think it's a great film. Conjuring 2, already went over. Jurassic Park, original classic. Dressed to Kill, Brian De Palma, good film, not great. Friday 13th, uncut, the original film, very good, fun slasher film. I think it just holds up exactly how it's supposed to. It's 1980, it's a dumb slasher film, and it's a lot of fun. Great time. Alright guys, I just found some more Blu-rays, figured I would finish this video up. First up, I've got the Aladdin Blu-ray. Haven't revisited this one in years. I got this for $10 at Walmart around Black Friday this past year. How can you pass that up? Classic. Ashamed to say I've never seen this, Snow White. Generally, it's the best Disney film. This is in the DVD set instead of the Blu-ray set. Dumbly, I didn't future-proof myself. I got it while I was still collecting DVDs so that it looked better on my shelf. Now I have mostly Blu-rays. Oh well. The cheap Walmart version of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Never seen all this film, seen most of it. It's supposed to be a Steven Spielberg classic. I got Workaholics Season 3 here, again, another cheat. I just really like this show, especially like the first 3 or 4 seasons. And the later seasons got a little too cringy. I don't like cringe comedy, but this one was just silly enough that I really liked it. Kick-Ass, another good film. Once Upon a Time in the West by Sergio Leone. Never finished this one. Deathly ashamed that I never finished this one. What I've seen of it, I do absolutely love it so far. I did end up finding my Drive Blu-ray. Again, this is the pop art version. They did change the disc, which is nice. There's nothing on the inside, which is kind of stupid that they didn't do that. I guess they just didn't want to splurge for the extra money to print it. But again, the cover, I think, fits the film a lot nicer than the standard keep case does. We got a Blu-ray of Fight Club here, masterpiece. What's not to love? One of the best 20 best films I've ever seen. Come on. I mean, there's a lot of haters. Unfortunately, kind of the bros and the college kids took this film over. I saw this when I was 11, 12 years old on HBO or Cinemax. My brother saw this in theaters when he's still working at a theater. He told me about it. I saw it. Absolute masterpiece. And we've got Possession here, the special Velvet Blu-ray edition. Have not checked this one out. Have had this for about a year now, and have still not checked this up. Very nice set. I paid a premium to get this set. I worried that it was going to sell out. They still have copies of this thing from what my understanding is, but that's okay. Great film. And last but not least, we have Alien by Ridley Scott. I got the little set here. I did not buy Aliens because there was nothing new on that Blu-ray from what I had before outside of new box, lobby cards, and a digital download for a James Cameron interview. I felt that was a real slap in the face to the fans. I felt 20th Century Fox could have done a much better job. It already has a ton of special features on the quadrilogy. May end up selling this and my Aliens and pick up the quadrilogy set. But outside of that, both Alien and Aliens are great films. If I have to pick one, gun to my head, Aliens. It's Aliens, guys. Aliens is just such a fun film from start to finish. Alien is a phenomenal masterpiece. Again, one of the top, I'd say, 50 best films I've ever seen. But Aliens is just so fun. Anyway, guys, I think that's mostly everything of all the Blu-rays that I currently have. Again, I still probably have a couple hundred DVDs. I'm not going to go through those. Maybe go over a couple of favorites and reviews in the future. I do have Blu-rays, though, in my Criterion set. I'm thinking about doing a separate video for my Criterion collection. I have probably over 100 Criterions, and quite a few of them are Blu-rays. I'd say about a third of them are Blu-rays. Maybe not a third, maybe about a quarter of them are Blu-rays. So I may do a video on that at some point. But anyway, guys, again, I appreciate you watching. If you like this, definitely give me the thumbs up. It means nothing to you, it means the world to me. Give me the subscribe, because we're going to be making a lot of videos you don't want to miss out. Come on, guys, this is a lot of fun. At least I'm having a lot of fun making these. I know, it's kind of silly and everything on YouTube, but I get why people really like it. It is a lot of fun. Anyway, again, guys, if you like this, give me the like, give me a subscribe, give me a comment down below. What's your favorite film that we went through here? Again, give me that comment. And again, guys, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.